They put steel wings on their feet and fly across frozen water. But their stories are told in their faces. The eyes that show no fear. No doubt. The eyes that hide how hard this is. The hours spent searching for elusive perfection. Their stories are written on their faces. The Cup of Russia, tonight on Lifetime. Tonight, we bring you to the northern capital of figure skating, a city created by and named for the Tsar who opened Russia to the West 300 years ago. Today, it's considered good luck to toast new beginnings beneath the statue of Peter the Great. It's a city that can overwhelm you with its beauty. This is the Church of Our Savior on Spilled Blood. St. Isaac's Cathedral. The Tsar's Winter Palace, now one of the world's great museums, the Hermitage. This city was home to Dostoevsky, while Tchaikovsky was given last rites in this church. A modern legend lives across the street from here now, the great pairs coach, Tamara Moskvina.
Hello everyone, I'm Kathleen Murphy, and tonight the ISU Grand Prix of Figure Skating has come here for the Cup of Russia, a very important step on the way to the Winter Olympics. Now think about this. Russian pair skaters have won every Olympic gold medal since 1964. That's 10 in a row. And if they make it 11, it will be one of the pairs that we will see skating tonight right here on their home ice on Lifetime Sports.
This is a new pair. They've been together just over a year, though she's a two-time world junior champion. We'll see how Obertas and Sokolov do tonight. You okay up there? 2 years ago, this team won the world championship. Petrova and Tikhonov do it with consistency. They've made a living on other teams' mistakes. And this team has made those mistakes. Berezhnaya and Sikralitsa. 2 falls in the short program here at the Cup of Russia have left them in 3rd place heading for tonight's final. Elena and Anton are the class of any field when they're on. But how do you flick that switch? We'll tell you their whole story tonight. It's the stuff of Russian novels and Hollywood movies, and it's all coming up in the pairs competition just a bit later. But right now, we are at the new Ice Palace here in St. Petersburg for the ice dance competition. And you will see one of the contending teams for the Olympic gold medal. The new world champions, Barbara Fusar-Poli and Maurizio Margalio. Their free dance works on the ice or at the neighborhood disco. And you will also meet, well, 2 young women. The older one juggles motherhood with an Olympic figure skating career. She is Tatiana Navka. Her daughter's name is Sasha. And Mom is about to take the ice as we turn things over to our team of Olympic medalist Peter Carruthers and national champion Susie Wynn. Peter?
Okay, thanks, Kathleen. Well, Navka and Kostomorov will skate first tonight, but the question on everybody's mind is the world champions Fusar-Poli and Margalio from Italy. Susie, a couple of weeks ago, you saw their free dance, and the question in your mind was, is this good enough to be a great Olympic free dance? Now, you weren't sure at that time. Has anything changed since then? to make you think that it is a great Olympic free dance?
Well, Peter, before I answer that question, let me say this. In 1984, Torvill and Dean, the Olympic champions, set such a high standard when they skated to Bolero. It's a masterpiece. And since then, we've all of us dancers have struggled to meet that standard, and the Italians find themselves in that same position. I spoke with Maurizio. He said they've made major changes, 45 seconds worth, in their free dance. It's a work in progress. It's definitely improving, and the more I see it, I become more fond of it.
Well, the standings as we enter the free dance, the Italians are first, and Chait and Seknovsky of Israel are in line for a third silver medal here on the Grand Prix this season, while the team from Ukraine is making its season debut here in Russia. But first on the ice, a story we just documented, and a remarkable story at that. A woman who's combining the responsibility of raising a family with a competitive figure skating career, Tatiana Navka. She and her skating partner, Roman Kostomarov, train in Hackensack, but they will have the audience with them here today. She is from Minsk, and he is from Moscow, and they are the top home team here at Cup of Russia.
Start off a little Michael Jackson in the closet. Very difficult lift, taking so much flexibility and strength. Comfortable quality to their skating, although they've only been skating together than less than 2 years.
Are we really happy here with this lonely game we play? Looking for words to say. Searching but not finding understanding anywhere. Lost in the
This is the change of edge lift. It has 2 different curves.
Amazing that Tatiana can balance motherhood and be so world-class on the ice.
It's true, because you're divided when you're at home. Your responsibilities are divided in 3. Responsibilities to your husband, to your child, and then skating is such a tall order. It takes 5 or 6 hours out of your day.
You're a mom now, you know.
It's one of the most important jobs. Really, they are the future of Russian ice dancing. For being together for such a short time, It'll be fun to see them develop over the next 4 years. A rotational lift. It has to rotate at least 3 times. Well, this is a fun and exciting free dance. They certainly have performed it well. A big step up from Skate America, not making any small mistakes. This was really a solid performance.
You know, I like the fact that they have a simple, elegant look on the ice. They're not over the top, crazy, wild costumes and eccentric choreography. They're just very nice to look at. Beautiful team. Tatiana Navka and Roman Kostomarov of Russia.
Well, they call this their balancing move, but this takes flexibility in your hips, in your knees, in your ankles, and that relationship to one another. That's where the balance comes in. Their lifts are really quite spectacular, very smooth. She's got a very elegant leg line. She's intertwined in between his legs. The control that takes, because there's so much whip and the momentum, but they control it so very well.
And there is Sasha Zulin, world champion ice dancer, and of course husband of Tatiana, their coach, and their marks for technical merit. They range from 5.3 to 5.6.
Well, I think that 5.6 is quite nice and well deserved.
Marks for Navka and Kostomarov for presentation, and these go up from 5.5 to 5.7.
Well, a great performance, and they certainly enjoy their skating.
So the medals are on the line as we continue with the free dance from the Cup of Russia tonight on Lifetime Sports. And welcome back to St. Petersburg and the brand new Ice Palace, home to the Cup of Russia. This is Elena Grishina and Ruslan Goncharov of Ukraine. And they are in 3rd place after the original dance. They took 8th place at the World Championships. And coming out for them here, this is their first Grand Prix event of the season.
And for that first event, you're always nervous, trying to find the pacing of your program, what's working, what's not working. All of the other teams here have had that opportunity already. The music, Barcelona. Very difficult connections, very intertwined with their arms and legs. That takes a lot of practice and negotiating. They certainly have a lot of difficulty already from the top, but they're able to maintain the speed through that difficulty. That shows great skating skill.
stage of the competition, the free dance, 4 minutes long, worth 50% of the total score.
Dance is the only discipline to allow vocals.
Do you like that?
At times I do. What has been happening a little bit is that everybody's choosing the same type of vocal or the same vocal, so those vocals become familiar and get recycled a little bit too much. Well, for the first time out this season, they should be very proud. No mistakes, and this is, as you can see, a very difficult program to get in and out of.
Got to choreograph the ending right there. Elena Grishina and Ruslan Goncharov of Ukraine in third place after the compulsory dances and the original dance.
There are 5 to 7 lifts allowed in the free dance. This is one of theirs. Difficult because of the balance and the coordination. Her leg swings over his head, and then the balance. She's leaning so far back, so he has to be secure. They do this very well. And a very unusual pop-over exit. Now, it's so difficult to be creative in ice dancing, and sometimes it works for you. This has a lot of potential, but it's very difficult for them to get out of this.
So the marks for Grishina and Goncharov for technical merit.
Well, I have to say, I think the 5.3, 5.4 are a little bit low considering the difficulty and that they were able to maintain the speed throughout all of their elements so well.
So they're getting a look at their marks for the first time on the Grand Prix this season. The presentation up to 5.6.
Well, I think the 5.6 are quite nice. A couple of little kinks at the end there, but the performance very, very good.
A 5-4 vote, and they're in first place. When we return, the new world champions take center stage out to prove they belong on top in this Olympic year.
The ISU Grand Prix of Figure Skating includes 6 countries on 3 continents. And this Sunday, the skating moves to Japan. The men's and women's finals coming up on ABC Sports at 1:30 Eastern. And then 1 week from tonight, the pairs and dance finals right here on Lifetime Sports at 6 Eastern. But tonight, it's the Cup of Russia. Peter Carruthers, back to you.
Thank you, Kathleen. We'll see the French dance team of Anasina and Pesara next week in Japan, but we won't see them against the Italians until the Grand Prix final later this month. They are the rivals for Olympic gold. Barbara Fusarpoli and Maurizio Magalio in first place after the original dance, world champions. She is 29 and he is 27.
The music, I Will Survive, a celebration of dance. where they've made some of their changes, trying to up the difficulty, clean up the footwork. They look like they have great control.
Do you think they're banking on the fact that when they're in Salt Lake at the Olympics that this piece of music is really going to overpower the audience and really work in their favor?
Well, I think that certainly factors into the decision. I know with the Canadians, Born and Kratz, they've chosen a Michael Jackson piece. And with the Italians, that music will certainly liven up the crowd. But Barbara just loved this music. They used it as an exhibition piece. And her coach said, she's just got to skate to it. She loved it so much. I notice about this team, when they are up against the French, they skate differently. They are the consummate performers under pressure and in competition. If the French were here, this free dance would punch up to a completely different level. One of the more difficult lifts in their programs. There's more that they could do choreographically during this slow piece. Making it edgier, move out more, finding more highlights. Some of their lifts and highlights are on the simple side. Their own audience with them, because in the music recorded is the sound of applause and people screaming, so it's a good safety net. This last piece, very difficult because the tempo is so fast. It's hard to keep those feet moving with the beat. They do. They will sell it, and they're great performers, great energy.
Barbara Fusaropoli and Maurizio Magalio as they march toward the Olympic Games, hoping that this free dance will be the free dance that helps them win a gold medal at the Olympics in ice dancing. And that would be the first time that an Italian ice dancing team wins a gold medal if they do that at the Olympics.
This is a look at the end of their circular footwork. They have a great hold in the upper body, very strong, very secure in the footing. Not a lot of level changes. It stays monotone. Their lifts are simple. That would be my criticism. This is something that needs more line, more stretch, and more flame.
And there's their coach, Tatiana Tarasova.
5'6".
The marks for technical merit for Fusaropoli and Magalio range from 5'6" to 5'9".
Well, this is more of a mix-up compared to what we're used to seeing. The 5'6" seems low, but...
And here we go. The presentation scores 2 6.0s from Ukraine and Italy.
Well, that's what they've been looking for.
Boy, did they get a big nod from the judges there.
I guess so.
One team to skate, the final standings to be decided, and then the pairs competition. Tension in practice today between the Olympic silver medalists, and they're keeping their distance backstage tonight. Can Beresnaya and Sikralica get their act together? That's later tonight as our coverage of the Cup of Russia continues on Lifetime Sports. Welcome back to St. Petersburg, Russia. Here's the final couple on the ice in the ice dancing competition, Galit Chait and Sergei Sakhnovsky from Israel. And they are in second place after the original dance. Five-time national champions.
They're skating to Havana Gila and other traditional Jewish folk songs. This is the third time they've performed this in the Grand Prix. So they look confident and very polished. They have very fast turns. Those are called twizzles. Excellent unison. That rotational lift moved a lot faster than Fusar, Poli, and Margalio's. But the Italians have a little more control in their upper bodies during their footwork sequences.
Ice dancing really has become a very athletic sport.
I feel it always has been, but right now that with the requirements, 5 to 7 lifts, they've added the dance spins, so it seems like the requirements are guiding the skaters into investigating different movement.
You got to be in great shape.
Oh, that's for sure. Shape, but what the most difficult thing about ice dancing is coming up with interesting things. Everything you do has to be creative. You can't rely on the lifts and the jumps from pair skating or free skating. Everything you do has to be of your own design. A difficult transition within that lift, but they're so secure in their skating. Their upper body hold, it tends to bounce a little bit. I know that some of it is due to the choreography and the interpretation of the dance, but I think they lose that solid drive that they could have because they tend to do it throughout the program. Very involved in the music. Well done. This is yet another very good performance from these two. They've had a very strong run this Grand Prix.
Galit Chait and Sergei Sakhnovsky from Israel. Right now in second place after the original dance, the 5-time national champions from Israel.
Chaitin Signovsky's rotational lift is very fast. It creates so much momentum, and the control that they have on the exit is very secure. Now, in the Italians' rotational lift, it's not nearly as difficult, and you'll have to watch the leg line during the rotation. Right here, that needs to be stretched, and it needs to move lickety-split. It doesn't quite do that.
Here are the marks for technical merit for Chait and Signovsky. They go from 5.5 to 5.7.
Well, I think those 5.7s are fair and strong, like their performance.
Second set, oh, there we are, 5.9.
Well, that's the one they've been waiting for. That's a great mark.
But those marks not good enough to push them over the world champions. So the final standings in the ice dancing, Fusar-Poli and Megalio of Italy in first, and Galit Chait, Sergei Signovsky of Israel in second, and the Ukraine team in third. Let's go to Kathleen Murphy.
Thank you, Peter. Barbara, you two have made a lot of changes to this program in the last couple weeks. What other ways are you going to hone this program between now and the Olympics?
Just work. We want to work and we want to be perfect, quite perfect. Of course, now it's start of the season. For us, it's the second competition and we feel very good, better than Germany. In Germany, we were just a little nervous. Here, feeling was unbelievable. Public, it's wonderful, and we did very good.
Maurizio, how difficult is it to make changes to a program in an Olympic year when you've got competitions and you're under the scrutiny of the media?
The problem is that you can try 20 times at home in your sessions, but will never be like in front of the public. So in Germany we were thinking that it was everything okay, but after the competition we said, okay, we will change this, and we did in 1 week. Of course it's a hard job, but we are almost professional skaters because we're doing only this in our life, so we can do it, and we will do until the Olympics.
Well, Olympics coming up. Your husband has a gold medal in speed skating. You got a lot of fast footwork out there. How nice would it be for you to have another gold medal at home?
Yeah, he has some secrets for me and Maurizio, but I can't tell you because it's secret.
We'll have to wait for that. Congratulations. It was a wonderful skate.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ciao.
Bye.
Back to you, Peter.
Thanks, Kathleen. When we return, the pairs competition and the most incredible story of Elena Berezhnaya. She was a virtual prisoner at one point in a country she did not want to skate for. Her flight to freedom, her rise to the top rungs of the Olympic podium. All that is coming up next on Lifetime Sport.
As we count down to the Olympics, the most fascinating competition, the most difficult to predict, will be the pairs.
Saleh and Peltier into the lead.
Almost no one expected Jamie Saleh and David Peltier to come in as world champions. And this season, the Canadians have added 2 more gold medals to a growing collection. The Chinese have never won Olympic gold in figure skating, but Xu Shen and Hangbo Zhao jump higher and throw farther than any other team. The question mark is how well they do when their blades are on the ice. There is a power emerging in America, and that's another surprise. Kyoko Ina and John Zimmerman have put together their greatest season at the perfect time. But pairs has always belonged to the Russians, as if it's in their blood. From the Protopopovs to Kazakova and Dmitriev, Russia has owned this Olympic gold. And if the line of succession is to continue unbroken, these are the heirs apparent. Berezhnaya and Sikralitsa. And their story is one of the most amazing in the history of this sport. In a remote village of the Soviet Union in 1977, Elena Berezhnaya was born into an uninviting existence. Abandoned by her father at age 6, Elena's mother supported Elena and her 2 brothers as best she could, with love and her meager salary. Life on the Soviet frontier was hard for little Elena. Figure skating gave her hope and happiness. When she was 12 years old, with her mother's hesitant blessing, Elena traveled to Moscow to train with the Soviet Union's greatest skaters. There she lived in a state-run boarding house for athletes.
There was all like big guys and all like boxers and looked so ugly. I was scared, and I was just only one girl in the whole hotel.
Elena blossomed as a skater and found a handsome young partner who she hoped would bring her success.
He was a strong partner, and he skated for a long time in Paris, and he do everything and I was like, oh, yeah, all right, let's do it.
At first, her partnership with Oleg Shliakov was a pleasant one. Elena wrote home to her mother about her new and wonderful life in Moscow. They trained hard and were a good team. But to Elena, Oleg seemed in a strange way too determined to succeed. Slowly, a dark side of Oleg began to emerge. At first, it was just verbal abuse. Then it turned into physical violence. Elena, now only 14, not knowing what to do, stayed with Oleg and endured the mistreatment.
We did some lift on the floor, and I did something wrong, and he started so mad, pushing me like wow. I was so shocked, and he would start to apologize, but I was shocked, and I was so scared.
Other boys at the Red Army skating club saw this abuse. Reportedly, one day after practice, they trapped Oleg behind the rink and beat him. Oleg looked to escape and to take Elena with him. The Soviet Union was experiencing turmoil within the government. That and the unpleasantness at the rink caused him to flee with Elena to his hometown of Riga, Latvia. This small country was just becoming an independent nation from the Soviet Union, and Oleg decided that he and Elena would skate for Latvia in the 1994 Winter Olympics. In Riga, Elena stayed with Oleg at his parents' house. Oleg's mother was reportedly a practitioner of black magic. His father, a commercial fisherman who spent months at sea. They experienced some success by placing 9th at the 1994 Winter Olympics. But Elena was not happy skating with Oleg. She felt scared and trapped in Latvia. Oleg did not want her to skate with another partner.
I'd be skating with somebody else? Who cares when I was skating or not? Just leave me. I want to go home, that's it. And then they start to be scared. I'll leave you. Oh, how come? Because, And so that's always thought they stop me. So they scared me about that, but when I said okay, let me go, I was ready to go, I don't want to skate anymore. They're okay, that's enough, she have to skate.
Elena did get to go home in a way. They sought out the guidance of the greatest figure skating coach in the world, Tamara Moskvina. Tamara had coached more pairs gold medalists than any other coach in history. Her unique ability to lead and coach with compassion was just what this pair's team needed. They traveled to St. Petersburg, Russia to train under her.
In St. Petersburg, I'm so glad I was in this town. I'm so glad I feel I'm in Russia. And I'm a Russian person. And I'm not in other country. So I feel I'm safe.
At first, Oleg was the perfect gentleman around Tamara.
It was a good change. He trying to be so gentle, because it's Tamara, wow. And he did so good. And of course, he was something hard, tough, but he was so gentle, so good. And Tamara was wow, good.
But soon, the facade began to crumble.
Oleg started to be again so mad, doesn't care about Tamara, nobody who skate in the rink, and again start to be himself.
Skaters saw Elena fall in practice, and Oleg skate close to her on purpose, just to scare her. Tamara saw the bruises and scars on Elena's body. She tried to talk about the problem, but Elena refused.
Tamara, not knowing what else to do, took Oleg for a psychological evaluation. The doctors determined that he had what Tamara described as a neurotic character flaw. She kept the news to herself, but she ached with worry. Another skater at the rink had taken notice of the young and beautiful Elena. Anton Sikleritsi, a pair skater himself, slowly started to make friends with Elena.
I start to like Anton more and more because he make me feel so nice. He make me laugh. He make me feel good.
They would meet secretly after practice to talk. Their friendship blossomed into a very close relationship. For Elena, it was her first schoolgirl crush.
And I feel this like kind of, I don't know, really tiny, like, I don't know, like, I feel it so much and I like it.
But Oleg was jealous of Anton and would leave Elena in the one-room apartment they shared.
If you go somewhere, like, he locked a door because he was mad and was like, you stayed home, don't go anywhere. I wasn't sad because I was so mad and just, you know, mad, very mad.
And on the ice, practice sessions continued to be unpleasant.
I don't remember any practice without meaning, like, or something like that. Yelling. I don't remember that. It's always have to be on something like negative about that.
By now, Elena was afraid for her life and told Tamara so. Oleg had gotten too desperate. He decided to move back to Riga, Latvia, and take Elena with him.
I have so bad feeling. And for me, I feel like I will never come back to Russia.
But Tamara had devised a plan for her to escape from Oleg. It was a complicated plan, and the risk was high. If caught, Elena might lose not only her passport, but also her freedom. The Latvian Skating Federation held Elena's passport. They said they needed it to get visas for her to travel. But they knew that she was unhappy. Without her passport, she could not travel freely. She was forced to stay with Oleg. But at international competitions, she was allowed to carry it for security reasons. At the 1996 European Championships, Tamara's plan would go into effect. After Elena skated with Oleg, she was supposed to sneak out of the hotel. She would then take a taxi to the airport and take a plane to St. Petersburg.
I was like, ah, what? Are you sure we can do that? Because I was so really scared to do something because I don't believe it. I can't do anything like scared, but I have to do something.
9 days before the daring escape was to take place, the two were training in Latvia for the European Championships. While practicing dangerous side-by-side spins, Oleg's skate blade bludgeoned Elena's head, leaving a deep gash that penetrated into the bone of her skull. It was a life-threatening wound. She underwent emergency brain surgery in a Latvian hospital. When she woke up, Oleg was standing over her. While she could not speak, inside she was screaming. She hated him. She vowed to herself never to see him again. But Oleg was not the immediate problem. Her survival was. Back in St. Petersburg, Tamara told the news of Elena's tragic accident to Anton. He was devastated. He had horrible images in his mind. A broken, shattered Elena lying helpless in a hospital bed. He desperately wanted to hold his friend in his arms and mend her broken soul. Together, he and Tamara devised another plan. For the scheme to work, Anton would travel by train to Latvia. There, he would secretly help Elena to escape. Back in Latvia, Elena's mother had arrived to give her daughter extra care as she lay unmoving in the hospital. Then came an emotional reunion with Anton.
I was was happy. I knew he came. Somebody who really want to help me. Anton, the first person who really want to help me to just be myself, just live normal life. And he was best friend for me on those times.
The morning she was discharged, Anton and her mother took Elena to a hotel near the train station. Anton, with the help of a friend of Tamara's living in Latvia, had secured Elena's passport. Now, if they were lucky, she would be able to leave Latvia without Oleg finding out. But Oleg did find out. Realizing that his Elena was now with Anton, he went wild with rage and jealousy. All he knew was that they were hiding somewhere in Riga and that they would be taking a train out. He started a desperate search for them. He knew where he would wait, at the train station. Meanwhile, back at the hotel, Elena and the others waited. The plan was to take the very next train to St. Petersburg 9 hours later. They hid in the hotel room, knowing that Oleg was somewhere out there searching for them.
I was scared, and I was scared because they don't let me leave. But in my head, like, just go, just get out from this town, from this country, just get out of here.
Oleg was waiting at the train station. It was easy for Anton, Elena, and her mother to walk across the street and slip into the crowd of people. Desperately searching the crowd for his Elena was Oleg. As they boarded the train on track 2, Oleg decided to search the 2 trains that were about to leave. He started on track 1, the train to Moscow. Before he could get to track 2 and search that train, the train to St. Petersburg pulled out. Not knowing if their plan had been successful, Anton held his fragile friend, comforting her and reassuring her that they would make it out of Latvia safely. They did, leaving Oleg behind. The trip took 12 hours. At dawn, they arrived at the St. Petersburg train station. At first, it was very difficult for everyone, but Anton was always there for her. Tamara took her to the best doctors in St. Petersburg, who said the only way for Elena to become stronger was for her to try and skate. And so, very slowly, Elena took to the ice. Anton was extremely patient with her, spending hours and hours helping her skate again. During this time, Elena and Anton had long talks. They decided that they wanted to skate together as a pair. They went to Tamara and asked her to be their coach.
I think this accident changed my life because in my head, everybody tell me other things, so I don't really have any choices. And this accident, well, I'm like wake up like, wow, I can tell them what I want, and nobody couldn't stop me. Just do what I wanted. Anton helped me to do that.
And so they lived happily ever after and won the Olympics? Not quite. Because for this team, nothing comes easily. 1 month ago, in practice, the Olympic season almost ended.
During one easy lift, disaster happened.
Elena narrowly missed hitting her head on the ice. But the blade of her skate slashed Anton's left arm, and the team lost a valuable week of practice. Their season debut came in Paris, where they beat the Americans, but only by the narrowest of margins. And then, here in Russia, their short program threw the whole season into doubt.
the Olympics, and you can kiss any color medal goodbye. Here, it was good enough for third place,
5-3,
but not really good enough for anything.
5-3, 5-2.
Maria Petrova and Alexei Tikhonov were just about perfect. Like Elena and Anton, they live and train here in St. Petersburg. Unlike their rivals, they didn't miss an element. And won the short program. The French team skated as if they were still in Paris. But the Can-Can played pretty well north of the Eiffel Tower. And Sarah Abitbol and Stefan Bernadis took second place, ahead of Berezhnaya and Sikrilica.
In Russia we say we ourselves make problems in order to solve them later.
We'll see who solves what when we return. The pairs free skate next on Lifetime Sports. It's a cold night here in Russia, so bundle up if you're going to take a walk through the Palace Square or along the canal which leads to the absolutely stunning Church of Our Savior on Spilled Blood. We're about a half hour from the city center, and no, that's not how we're traveling around tonight. Here at the new Ice Palace for the Pairs Free program, where all eyes are on a team that seems to be in trouble. Anton Sikrilica and Elena Berezhnaya. Things seem a little tense between these two as we turn things over to our team, Susie Wynn and Peter Carruthers. Susie?
Thanks, Kathleen. Now, Peter, I have to ask you, being the pairs expert, when a team has a slow start to their season, as Yelena and Anton have had, how do you get back on track? How do you turn it around?
You got to get a gift from the judges, the way they did in the short program. They got some 5.9s for presentation, and they had 2 falls in the short program. Remember, 6.0 is a perfect mark. Now, they are in third at this point, so if they win the free program, well, they will win Cup of Russia. But forget about that for a minute. When they get to the Olympic Games, if they have falls like that in the short program, they're going to be outclassed by the Chinese and certainly the Canadian pair team of Salé and Peltier. What the Russians need to do right now is skate up to their reputation. Here are the standings entering the free program. Petrova and Tikhonov are first, and a win here would be a huge boost to their Olympic hopes. The French are in second. Berezhnaya and Sikrilica are in third. And because this program counts for 2/3 of the final score, whichever of the top 3 teams win, well, they will take the whole event. Here are Laura Handy and Jonathan Hunt of the United States. They placed 8th at Skate America. Still really a young team, the work in progress with these two. They've been together since April of 2000, so still developing their unison.
Very well-matched team, very good-looking on the ice. This is their split triple twist. A little rough on the catch.
Pair skaters spend so much time developing their pair skills, such as lifts, throws, that sometimes the singles jumps sort of take the back seat, but actually the singles jumps are the most difficult things to do in the program, and right now they approach their side-by-side triple toe loops. Pretty pretty good. That's where they're really gaining experience.
I was talking to Irina Rodnina, the 10-time world champion, and she said, I would not want to be a pair skater today because of that tall order.
Susie, I bet she could still get on the ice. That'd be pretty incredible.
That's what I told her.
Oh, she can see that she's a little weak on the throws. Takes a very strong back. Strong legs to accommodate the force coming out of those big throws. Spots available on the U.S. Olympic team, and for the most part, people know that Ina and Zimmerman are locked to win the gold medal unless something very strange happens at the national championship. So these two really are trying to win that second spot.
Well, they've really come through for Tiffany Scott and Philip Dulabon, who are suffering from an injury. And it's hard to come in as an alternate. You don't quite have that confidence. And again, only together a year and a half. It's not enough time to be competing at this sophisticated of a level. A strong throw triple sow cow.
Actually, Laura was the partner of Paul Binabos. You may remember, this was the pair team that took a terrible fall. Paul actually split his skull open, and he nearly died. It ended his career in figure skating. She stayed with him for a while after that, but then they both moved on. Incidentally, Paul is doing pretty well these days.
He's doing very well, and he encouraged Laura to continue with her partnership with Jonathan. It takes a lot of courage for her to come back to a very emotional place to be. This was a very strong skate. After the short program, they had troubles. This is a step up. They've got to feel good.
And when we return, we'll check their marks. The Russians are coming next, but which of the top teams is going to win gold? Or will there be an upset in the works tonight on Lifetime?
Marks for Handy and Hunt were in the high 4s. Welcome back, everybody, to St. Petersburg. We are at the Ice Palace. The pairs free skate is underway with constant reminders of how dangerous this sport can be. Earlier tonight, the Ukrainian team of Victoria Makshuta and Vitaly Dubina. He lost his balance at the end of this lift, but was able to save it. A very close call. A year and a half ago at the World Championships, this team was not so lucky. Yulia Obertas and her partner, Dmitry Palamarchuk. He catches an edge here. She falls on top of him and his head hits the ice. Fortunately, there was no serious injury, but the team never skated together again. He now skates with a new partner for Ukraine, and she is here tonight, lives and trains in St. Petersburg, and now skates for Russia with Alexei Sokolov. This is their very first Grand Prix season, and Peter Carruthers here at Cup of Russia, they're in 5th place, entering the free skate.
Thanks, Kathleen. As we have seen in the past, and certainly in other seasons, skating is a dangerous sport, and in this discipline of pair skating, it is totally unforgiving for missteps on lifts.
Both struggling with their timing and their unison on the side-by-side triple toe loops. A very soft knee bend, great crossovers, good in-between skating. Split triple twist. Next side-by-side jumps, the double axel. Trouble for both. At this point, it's time to collect themselves, and they do on this throw triple loop.
She's got nice posture as she skates. Look at this one hand overhead. Being a world-class pair team these days is to have interesting variations on the lifts.
And what's interesting, their lifts, some of their pair highlights are their strength, yet in the complete beginning of their program, everything's a side-by-side jump, side-by-side spin, no pair elements. Not banking on their strengths earlier on in the program.
Want to have balanced choreography throughout. Watch this. That's a great variation and dangerous to do also, because if he goes to the back of his skate, she would go right over his head.
Very difficult spiral for her. It's a rond de jambe where the leg moves around into a spiral position. The potential in their line and their partnership is, you can just taste it. Beautiful star lift, the extension through her legs, then he moves into a spread eagle position. The balance that takes is incredible. to say, Peter, I enjoy their lifts and their para elements the most.
Yeah, the program sort of built toward the end of the program. I'd like to see them a little bit more aggressive at the beginning, but they have a nice line on the ice, meaning their posture and carriage.
Trouble at the start of the program with the side-by-side triple toe loops. They have different timing. He touches down. She's not able to complete the rotation.
This is hard because they take off of a backward outside edge. She takes off up into a throw triple loop, lunging forward there, but very determined, a strong back. I love this. He will press her dead weight, as we say. Hard to balance because the tendency is for the man to rock toward the back of the skate, so you've got to be perfectly balanced, and they control that very well. Extremely difficult to do.
The first mark, 5-3.
Here are the marks for technical merit for Obertas and Sokolov of Russia.
4-9.
4.9 up to 5.3.
Well, everything was pretty much in place except for their side-by-side jumps.
And the presentation, 5.1 to 5.4.
Well, this is a lovely program that just needs some more time to develop.
The first of 3 St. Petersburg teams to skate, and the best is yet to come.
The battleship Aurora fired the first shot which began the revolution of 1917. We are in St. Petersburg, Russia, but we are headed for Japan in the NHK Trophy. Men's and ladies finals Sunday at 1:30 Eastern on ABC Sports. And then 1 week from tonight, right here on Lifetime, the dance and pairs finals, 6 p.m. Eastern. Peter Crothers, let's send it back to you.
Thanks, Kathleen. Petrova and Tikhonov are expected to face off against the Chinese team of Shen and Zhao next week, and that will be an interesting duel. But tonight, pride, bragging rights, and Olympic positioning are on the line here in St. Petersburg. Maria Petrova and Alexei Tikhonov are in first place, entering the free skate. Berezhnaya and Sikrilica skate right behind them. And you can forget last night, Susie, because whoever wins this free skate will take the gold medal here at Cup of Russia.
But in this competition, they just seem to me very calm, very collected. And when they bank on their consistency, although they're not the best performers or artists, that seems to be good enough at times. They're skating to the music of chess. Let's see if the consistency that they had in the short carries through here on the side-by-side triple toe loops. And it does. Setting up for the double axel, forward takeoff. Very well matched.
Susie, you know what I think has really helped these two? They now train with Berezhnaya and Sikrilica, who have moved back to Russia from the United States. And when you have 2 world-class pair teams, nice split triple twist lift, 2 world-class pair teams training with each other, well, that raises the standard for both.
Well, every day you're skating on the same ice. You can't really hide from the competition. You have to face it every day. That really pushes your performance on a daily basis.
Little one-upsmanship. Beautiful throw triple Salchow. Their confidence much stronger this season.
Well, last season she really battled with an ankle injury, and injuries just can knock the wind right out of your sails.
Oops, a little unstable on that lift right there. Oh, he's getting a little bit tired. These two are very strong. However, I don't think they have the line and the dimension that Berezhnaya and Sikralica have when they're on.
Which is unusual because they have had extensive training in ballet. So you would think that that would filter over into their line on the ice.
But she just powers through that throw triple toe loop.
Such a difficult lift, but it lost a little of the impact because the speed isn't quite there.
Into the program, and these lifts become really difficult because the stamina drops off a little bit. Last element, the paired death spiral. Well,
I think this is a big improvement from Nations Cup. Really only one big mistake, the double axel, which was an added element anyway.
But they definitely have improved this season. They look stronger, more confident, and their speed across the ice a little bit better, but they are working to improve that even more. Maria Petrova and Alexei Tikhonov, the world champions from 2000, but they have opened the door for Berezhnaya and Sikralica. Berezhnaya and Sikralica know if they win the free program, they will win Cup of Russia, and that's what it's all about right now, is redemption for BNS.
This is a team that usually wins by not making mistakes. This one of the uncertain elements in their program, the lift, a bit of a bobble. The speed wasn't quite there, and the balance between them. Very small, but those could turn into dangerous moves.
And these were the double axels. Take a look at what happens to him. He steps out of that jump right there. The judges want to see a continuous edge and no jerky movement, as we just saw.
The first mark, 5-7, 5-6.
Here are the marks for technical merit, 5.5 to 5.7.
5-7.
Not bad, but there's still a lot of room for Berezhnaya and Sikralica.
5-6, 5-7.
Вторая оценка 5-8.
And the presentation scores from 5.6 to 5.8. A little better. But now the waiting game starts. Here is Elena Berezhnaya, and that is her partner, Anton Sikralica. They live here, they train here, they are two-time world champions, trying to turn things around in this free program. A very rough, short program leaves them in third place at this point.
And Tatiana's mother, she's standing by looking like she's praying and meditating. They've been struggling in practice for the free program, trying to collect their emotions and their thoughts. They're skating to a collection of music from the films of Charlie Chaplin.
Wonderfully character-driven program.
The quality and everything they do is so obvious. Side-by-side triple toe loops. Oh, good stuff. And the jump sequence, the double axel, double toe loop, continuously moving.
Look at the arch of her back. I just love the line, the carriage, the posture. It's this skating right here that makes them so exceptional. There, very solid.
The sustained line and the spiral by Anton spread eagle for Yelena. Beautiful, developed. Excellent unison. Flying camel into back sit. And then into a pair spin, a very innovative way to bridge two elements together.
You must appreciate this section. Being an ice dancer, it's wonderful.
They did receive a little help from Olympic champion Christopher Dean earlier on in the choreographic stages. This is last year's free program.
And I think the judges really appreciate this because it's a different dimension.
It is, and it stands out from the other teams.
Better believe it. This is a key point in the program. This is the throw that she fell on in the short program. Right here, the throw triple loop. She really wants this and gets through.
Oh.
They're back.
Their speed and power on the ice is amazing. What a beautiful way to arrive into this forward inside death spiral. He changing positions out of the pivot. That just takes mastery over the blade, great skating ability and power.
enjoyed that program. It was so nice. And Mom's happy. That's important.
Elena Beresnaya's mother, the two-time world champions, have really skated a fine free program here in their hometown of St. Petersburg, Russia. I said they needed to skate up to their reputation. Well, Susie, they've done more than skate up to their reputation. They have just pushed the boundary a little bit further in the world of pair skating. Coach Tamara Moskvina, her hard work paying off with these two very talented people. We'll be back with their marks at Cup of Russia after this.
5-9, 5-8, 5-9.
And welcome back to Cup of Russia, and the celebration is continuing here at the Ice Palace. Here is the first set of scores for Elena Beresnaya and Anton Sikrelitse. They are huge, from 5.8 up to 5.9.
Big change from the short program. It's great to see these marks again for this couple.
5-9, 5-9, 5-9, 5-9, 5-8, 5-8.
Now the second set, and look at that. Well, there's the perfect score from the German judge.
Well, he got that right.
Elena Beresnaya and Anton Sikrelitse, with their coach Tamara Moskvina, putting it all together in their hometown of St. Petersburg, Russia. They have the votes of all 9 judges. They are in a very solid lead.
5-9, 5-9, 5-9, 5-9.
One team left to skate tonight, and they have their work cut out for them now. They are the French national champions, Sarah Abitbol and Stéphane Bernadis. Third last week at Trophy La Ligue. They are in second place tonight, entering the free program. The music, the Adams Family.
Problem with their side-by-side triple toe loops. Interesting costumes. Spider on the front of her costume, a hand on the back.
Boy, Sarah fighting through those jumps. One thing she does so well is she makes sure that her back doesn't lean forward. She's very upright when she skates. Sometimes a little too stiff, but helps with the jumps.
An incredible split triple twist. The height and the split that she's able to execute. Truly spectacular. Bow lift, the balance between them, perfect.
push the envelope with the throws. They've attempted the throw triple axel in competition in past seasons. At the Olympics in 1998, Sarah completed the jump but stepped out at the end, and you can see how she's capable of doing something so hard as a triple axel in a throw with her very strong positions.
I always say that female pair skaters are powerful, but they have to be fearless.
There's some character for you.
They can come back and reincarnate themselves as ice dancers.
What do you think of this tango section?
I think it's fun. I think they're very capable. It suits their look and their feisty spirit. I don't think Barbara Fusar-Poli and Maurizio Magali will have any of that. The world dance champions from Italy. The right music as a vehicle to show off their best stuff. This was highly entertaining.
The 8-time national champions Sarah Abitbol and Stéphane Bernadisse of France. They train in Paris. She's 26 and he's 27, and they have their eyes on the Olympic Games that come up in 2002 February, Salt Lake City.
A strong start here in the side-by-side triple toe loops. Just both so secure in the air, and they fight for all their landings on every jump, every throw.
And this is called an adagio lift. They call it the bow lift, but the way he balances her is as she arches her back at the top of this lift, he's able to simply let go with his left arm and support her. And she's got that right arm as a handle right there to counterbalance. In second place after the short program, here are their technical merit marks, 5.5 to 5.7. A stretch for them to win, but
these are still some strong marks. I think some of those 5.5s are a little low.
5.5. Вторая оценка 5.8, 5.8, 5.8.
The second set of scores, a battle for second, 5.6 to 5.8.
Those 5.8s are pretty nice.
The second mark, 5.8.
And it's a 5-4 split. They finished third behind Petrova and Tikhonov. Right now, let's go to Kathleen Murphy.
Anton, not a hint of the short program tonight. How do you feel about your performance on the ice?
I think tonight it was a good program for us, for our condition for today, and I'm happy about our skating today.
Elena, a tough time with the short program. How did you prepare and focus for tonight's performance?
Tamara helped me feel better, and how have every time like all over again. Just try to forget about yesterday and do what I have to do today.
Well, Tamara, how exactly did you help them?
I have several tricks that I use, so that was a successful trick tonight.
Okay, thank you, Kathleen. Well, Tamara Mosvina pulls off another magic act with her team of Berezhnaya and Sikralica. Petrova and Tikhonov were second. The other young Russian team, Obertas and Sokolov, were 5th. And a nice comeback tonight for the young Americans, Laura Handy and Jonathan Hunt, as they build toward next month's U.S. Championships. And we'll be back to wrap things up after this.
4 new champions in a Grand Prix season to remember. For Susie Wynn and Peter Carruthers, I'm Kathleen Murphy, and we'll see you next week.